The 911 operator later said the call from that New York house was the quietest emergency call she had ever received, because the person on the line kept whispering, as if something else was listening, and everything began the moment a porcelain doll named Annabelle was placed in the living room. The house stood at the very end of a peaceful suburban street where lawns were perfectly trimmed, yet no one ever stayed outside after sunset. And when Emily Carter and her roommate Rachel moved in, they believed the calm meant safety, unaware that the silence felt heavy because something inside the house was constantly aware of their presence. On their first evening, while unpacking abandoned boxes in the attic, Emily uncovered an antique porcelain doll carefully wrapped in cloth, untouched by dust or time, its painted smile gentle but unsettling, its glass eyes reflecting light in a way that felt almost aware, and the instant Emily touched it, she felt a sharp chill travel through her arms as if the air itself had reacted. Rachel laughed and placed the doll on a chair in the living room, joking that it made the house feel classic. But that same night Emily woke suddenly at exactly 3:17 a.m., her heart racing as though someone had softly called her name. And when she looked toward the living room, the chair was empty, leaving behind a deep sense that something had moved without making a sound. By morning the doll was found near the staircase, and over the next several days it began appearing in different places throughout the house, sometimes sitting upright as if watching, sometimes facing corners, sometimes positioned closer to Emily's bedroom door, and with each movement the house seemed to grow quieter, colder, and more alert. Soft knocking began echoing through the walls late at night, slow and careful, never aggressive, as if someone small and patient was asking to be noticed. And soon handwritten notes appeared on old yellow paper with messages like, "I'm still here, please don't forget me, it's lonely at night," and, "I waited for you," written in uneven childlike handwriting that neither Emily nor Rachel recognized. The house reacted subtly to their emotions, lights dimming when fear rose, floorboards creaking when silence grew too deep, and Emily noticed that whenever she spoke gently near the doll the activity softened, as if something was listening closely and responding. Nights became restless as Emily heard footsteps pacing the hallway, stopping outside her door, followed by the faint sound of breathing that vanished the moment she moved. Shadows appeared where no light should exist, stretching unnaturally along the walls, lingering longer than shadows should, and mirrors reflected movement that disappeared when she turned around. One evening the radio turned on by itself, playing static that slowly formed into faint whispers repeating Emily's name, and when she shut it off, she realized the doll had turned to face her directly for the first time. Fear slowly mixed with a strange sense of sympathy, as if the presence in the house wanted understanding rather than panic. When a friend named Mark visited and mocked their concerns, lifting the doll and joking that fear only existed in the mind, the room fell into an unnatural stillness, the air growing thick and unmoving, and that night Mark woke unable to move, convinced something had been standing inches from his face, watching silently, and by morning he left pale and shaken, refusing to ever return. From that moment on, Emily's dreams became vivid and emotional rather than violent, filled with the image of a small girl sitting quietly at the foot of her bed, whispering that her name was Annabelle, that she was cold, that she had been waiting a very long time, and that no one ever came back for her. And sometimes Emily woke with tears on her face and a deep sadness she could not explain. During the day Emily felt guided through the house, drawn toward certain rooms, certain corners, as if memories were trying to surface. And while researching the property's history, she uncovered old records revealing that decades earlier a young girl named Annabelle vanished from that very house during a winter night. Her favorite possession, a porcelain doll identical to the one now moving through the home, and her disappearance quietly buried after searches failed. Terrified yet conflicted, Emily attempted to remove the doll, sealing it and leaving it miles away. But when she returned home, it was already there, resting neatly on her bed, warmer than before, as if pleased to be back. From that moment the activity intensified, doors opening slowly on their own, objects shifting with intention, soft humming echoing from empty rooms, clocks stopping repeatedly at 3:17, and photographs falling face down without explanation. Rachel, overwhelmed with fear, tried to leave but suffered an unexplained fall down the stairs that sent her to the hospital, leaving Emily alone with the house. Isolation strengthened the presence. The walls creaked like something breathing inside them. Whispers filled every room, calling Emily's name gently and patiently. And on the final night, as Emily locked herself in her bedroom and called the police, the knocking began on the inside of the door, slow, careful, and close, as if waiting for permission. When officers arrived, they found Emily unconscious on the floor, the house completely silent once again, and the doll sitting calmly beside her, untouched and perfectly still, and with no evidence, no explanation, and no officer willing to return. The case was quietly closed, the house sealed, and the doll locked behind glass. Yet those who work nearby still claim that after midnight they hear soft knocking, feel sudden cold drafts, and hear a gentle voice whispering from the darkness the same question that never truly ends: can I stay?